Thank you for your inquiry. I'm hoping the following video will give you some insights into the things that you should be considering when you're thinking about selling the business to get the best outcome for you and for the business. The key is really understanding what the owner's personal objectives are at the first instance. What do they want to achieve out of the work that they put in from their business in terms of when do they want to leave the business, what form do they want their retirement to take. The economic considerations are going to be quite important. What's it worth to them to retire? And so all of those family and personal issues are the first point that need to be addressed. Once we understand those, we then need to understand what are the business objectives. So in other words, what are we trying to achieve from a business point of view? The continuity for staff, continuity of service for the clients of the business, the interrelationships that we've had with other professional practitioners. So what do we want all of that to look like? The reality is that whilst personal objectives are always going to be the main driver, they have to run in congruence with the business objectives. And it's really important, having set those objectives, to be realistic about whether they're achievable. Now, it's important that we understand exactly where the business is in its operating rhythm, its financial structure, its profitability, and therefore its value. If we have a realistic understanding of where we start, it doesn't mean that we can't do work to improve all of those things, and in fact it's important that we do that, but being realistic about where the business sits is an important landing point for us, and we bring to the table an understanding of the market, the environment, and the experience that we've had in working with businesses gives us a really good platform to establish that realistic understanding. Quite often what we see when we go into the business is that there are things that need to be tweaked. Now, it might be as simple as the structure that the business is in is going to give us less than optimal tax outcome on the transaction, so we need to address that in early stages. It may be the things to do in the business structurally that can drive some efficiency, increase profitability and increase value. It may be there are parts of the business that aren't functioning well. There may be parts of the business that are better sold before we take the whole business to market or closed down. So there are these things that if we look with this lens of reality into the business and we can shape it, if we have some capacity to influence what that business looks like before we take it to the market, we're going to get a much better outcome. If we just take it lumped as it is and take it to the market, we're going to wear the consequences of it not being as appealing to the market segment that we're taking it to. So time invested in that first 6 to 12 month period of getting the business ready will return handsome rewards to the business owner. We have an analogy that, your house always looks its best the day you take it to auction. Our view is, well, why don't you get your business looking its best before you take it to auction? Because you'll enjoy the surroundings. If you increase the profitability, increase the value, you're going to get that benefit before you take it to the market, and then you're going to be rewarded by a better result, the outcome. So it is a bit of detailing from a superficial point of view, but quite often the engine does need to be tweaked as well. It's really important to understand who the likely buyers of the business are going to be. And in fact, in most cases where we work with a business, the buyer that emerges that gives the best outcome is someone that's quite often known to the business. What we're looking for in a business is we're looking for someone who can create some synergy value, so who can take your business and enhance the value, because people are going to pay more for that. People are going to pay more if they think that they can take what you've created and done a great job of building to this point and take it to a new level. And that may be because they can add diversity of service, it may be they can add some efficiency, or maybe even just the scale capacity that they can create can drive some value change. So we want to find buyers who recognise not only that the business is good in its inherent sense, but there's some synergy that can be added to that, because that's where we're going to extract a premium in terms of perhaps price, but more importantly, we're going to be able to negotiate terms, conditions, and come back to all of those more emotional issues around the right fit for the right business at the right time.